another Detroit place.
That's right.
Nice going, man. Tell us your name, sir, please.
Name's Mike Nagy.
Mike, welcome to the basement. That's BASSMINT. You're welcome for coming to hang out with us in the basement. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us. Nice playing there, man. What key was that in?
That was E. See, you're testing me.
Already. Because he ended with that open E. You know, I just had to ask you. Now, was it E major or E minor?
Minor.
E still? That's awesome, man. Well, I know how you know so much about music.
I've been playing probably for 10, 12 years now.
Oh, okay.
So, primarily just doing rock stuff. I'm here with all these jazz, funk, virtuoso guys, so.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what made me go off kilter here in the basement. Again, that's BASSMINT. Well, helping us out on this interview we're about to do with this fine bass player, Mike, we got another Detroit bass player. Tell us your name, sir.
Javon Adams.
How you doing? We got two more Detroit bass players over there. Tell us your name.
Alvin Grimes.
And
Rick Calloway.
Rick Calloway. Also have another. Oh no, that's the owner of the basement himself right there.
Yeah.
Who's also a Detroit bass player. Just in case y'all don't know, go to Reggie's Plays, man. He be calling. What you call them? A basement series that you do your play-alongs with.
Oh, the songs from the basement.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Your recall is amazing, man. I don't know how you can remember all those changes all of those changes in the song. We also have another. That ain't a bass. What is that right there?
This is a video camera. Even though I'm a guest, I'm a keyboard player. Thanks for having me here.
And what's your name?
I'm Don Barkoviak.
Who's the father of this fine bassist? Tell us your name.
Jay Barkoviak.
Hopefully these guys will chime in during this interview. Maybe not. I don't know. You say 10 years, Mike, you've been playing?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. You play pretty well. And I don't know, you play kind of mellow there, but judging by the abuse on your fretboard, I think you be doing some damage to that thing. Huh?
You dig in every now and then. So.
I don't know if you can see the abuse from this camera, but you know, it's awesome when I get to see some fretboards that's been beat up a little bit. I love that stuff, you know.
Well, it gets hot on stage, you know.
Yeah.
Go with it.
And another thing I noticed that as I panned around, every bass was a Fender except yours.
Yeah.
You play at a Lakeland?
Yep.
What's up with why?
I don't know. Well, I played Music Mans for many, many years, and those were my favorite bass. And you know, you just find a bass, and you're like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna find another one. But I found this. Some guy was selling this used at a really cheap price, and I started playing it. And it kind of has, you can do sort of like a Music Man thing with it. You can do a jazz thing with it. So that's why I kind of like this, and this became my main bass for a while. But you know, my Music Man was feeling neglected, so I picked her up a little bit. And I don't know, there's just something about that baseball bat feel on a Music Man that you can't get anywhere else. So.
Yeah, they're huge, man.
Right.
So we know when you started playing, but why? Why the bass guitar, man?
Well, so my buddy, who's a guitar player, we've been friends since 6th, 7th grade. He started taking lessons. His family's his mother's a professional piano player. He started taking lessons, and he looked at me and said, hey, you know, if you pick up like a bass or a drum kit, we could start a band. So dragged my parents to the music store, and you know, drums were a little too expensive to get started on, so you could get a bass and a bass amp for a couple $100, and here we are. And I've been playing in bands, doing music projects with them ever since.
That is awesome, man. Just how guys get started playing. Like, hey, I play guitar. If you could go get a bass, we can start a band.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, 10 years later, you playing music.
Yeah, in 4th, 5th grade, I played trombone, and he played trumpet or whatever.
Wow, how many? So. I'm an ex-trombone player. Reginald Cathy is an ex-trombone player. There's something about trombone players shifting over the bass.
I don't know,
You
man.
got sex
I didn't have no
over
choice. It is put one in my hand.
Well, that's what happened to me.
I wasn't looking for no trombone.
I love the trombone because it had that. It was the only one that you can do.
Well, you and I were a bigger guy. You look funny if you have something too small.
Yeah.
So, and you know, it's one of those things that, looking back on it, I wish I would have stuck with it instead of, you know, when you're a kid, it stops being cool to play the trombone.
I didn't like carrying home on the bus.
Exactly, same thing. I leave it at school and never rehearse with it, you know?
Yeah.
Any other instruments for you, Javon? before the bass?
I came to the bass from the keys and trombone.
You play trombone too? How about you, Al?
I started out with trumpet.
It was the brass in the brass family. Rick, any?
No.
You started on bass? How about you, Jay?
Well, I was forced to take piano for a long time, and then I played sax, and I played snare and marching band through high school. So
That's awesome, man.
yeah.
And then we all wind up with the bass. That's awesome, man. Bands, when you started playing the bass, when you playing with your guitar player friend, you guys still play together nowadays?
Yeah, we've had a band called Jiva, Jiva, jivamusic.net for a cheap plug. But you know, I've been doing different lineups with him ever since, and you know, recently we started trying to get into that whole music publishing thing. Just started playing with a blues group called the Delta Twins, bass for them. So you know, trying to stay busy.
Mm-hmm. The Delta Twins. It's got to be blues. As soon as you said Delta, right? And that's awesome as well, man. Now, you say you have a couple of basses. We already talked about that, but one of my questions is, well, do you have any like favorite bass players that you might listen to, or anything like that, or just they ain't got to be a favorite, you know, or they don't have to play bass, you know? Just what's some of your top bass players
like
and
just growing
bands?
up, who I listened to, like what I started listening to was all like the Zeppelin, Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan. So it's like your John Paul Jones or your you know, Billy Cox, and also like modern rock. I think like the guy from Stone Temple Pilots, Robert DeLeo, is a great rock bass player. Kind of has a lot of that melodic sort of playing, sort of like a Paul McCartney does, and you know, that kind of thing. I've always played in three-piece bands, so the bass has to kind of hold the bottom down, and you try and be as melodic as you can, just chugging away and making sure that bottom doesn't fall out. So those guys, I think, do a pretty good job of, you know, keeping it driving forward.
That's awesome. So well, man, like I said, I ain't want to keep you. You know, I know you got things to do, people to see, places to go. But before I let you go, anybody else got any questions for this fine bass player?
I noticed you referred to your guitar as a her. Do you have a name for your guitar?
Oh, no, I don't think I do. I thought about it for a while, then if I did, I probably forgot. But right as, I don't know, Stevie Ray Vaughan says, you know, she never talks back to me, she always talks for me.
Right. I mean, you know, like B.B. King with Lucille,
Right,
and Clapton's guitar, he calls it Blackie.
All right.
You know, so I was just wondering, if you say her, that's getting
No,
real
I don't
personal.
know. Is it bad luck? Like bad luck not to have a boat named or anything like that?
Well, yeah, if it's a boat and you might not want it to sink, I think you should have it named. But that's a great question, man. We had a lady here, hadn't posted hers yet. She came all the way from Massachusetts, and she named her basses dude names. You know what I mean? And I can't wait to post that one up. Were you at the photo shoot at the Detroit
I
Bass?
made it down there.
I know you
Cool,
look familiar for somewhere. What did you think of that Detroit Bass Day at the photo shoot?
I mean, I think it's really cool, and it's a good chance, you know, that the scene in Detroit is, like, it seems like it's big enough, but it's really small enough that everyone can work together, know each other, like, collaborate, and it's just great to see everybody together, and, you know, everyone there is just super cool, willing to talk about gear or playing no matter what level you are. Had they never met you before in your life, you all of a sudden became best friends for that little bit of time where you guys were talking about it, so it's just a really kind of neat thing.
Yeah, thank you, Detroit Bass Players page on Facebook, and Craig Sconey and crew like Reginald Canty, all of them had something to do with putting that together. Are you on the Detroit Bass Players page as well?
I am, yeah.
That's awesome, man. So I'm gonna post this on the Detroit Bass Players page, and like a pie in the face, I'm gonna post it on your page if you have one.
Yep. Mike Nagy on Facebook.
Okay, that's how we can contact you. Mike Nagy on Facebook. Now, how you spell your last name?
Nagy.
Okay, I've seen that.
Like Nady, only with a G.
Yeah, I think I've seen that several times. Okay, and if we wanted to hear some of your music,
You can go to jivamusic.net, Jiva music.net.
all right, that is awesome. And before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to say in closing?
Just thanks for the invite. It's a cool thing you're doing down here, you know, getting the community together and just getting people together.
All right, with that said, could you play us something out, please? Ladies and gentlemen, Detroit bass player Mike Nagy. That's what I'm talking about right there. In the pocket.